Hi, I'm Michelle Scott. I am the gifted and talented teacher at Pikeville Independent Schools. So last year, one of the big things was it was my first year there, and we really wanted to take our program into more of a STEM focus with the goal of it starting with our GT program and then spreading out throughout our classroom. Kind of like our GT students would be our ambassadors, and they would know how to use all the different technologies and robotics, and then they could be the helpers in the classroom. Because I know as a teacher, you don't want to take time to have the kids try to figure things out and build it. You don't really have time for that. But if they already know, then you can implement these things in your classroom much easier. So we had a few different options, and one of the things was we had a robotics team. So we went through the first Lego League Robotics. I don't know if any of you all have those in your school, but they're great if you want to start one. I recommend it. But they basically get a robotics kit, they build the robot, and then Lego League sends you challenges that they have to complete, and then you compete with those. They also have to solve a problem. So you have some real world problem solving going on. It's a whole separate component. And then you have the coding and robotics that go along with it. They had a phenomenal time. I had 10 boys on this, so that was great. But they really did. And one thing that I noticed, and what I thought I would notice, and it did come true, is gifted students especially, but it goes for all of them. We see a lack of wanting to continue to persevere in problem solving. So if they don't get it the first time, they just want to throw their hands up, or they want you to help them out and show them how to do it. They don't want to have to think about it. And so with robotics, it's a trial and error process. You try something, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? How can we fix it? Try it again. It didn't work. What happened? So it's that engineering design process that gets them thinking about reflecting on what they did and how can I fix it and what makes it better. And I thought that process would translate into greater grit and perseverance. And it did. So in the beginning, those boys were so mad when things would not work. And then they didn't understand why I wouldn't help them. I let them pretend like it was part of the process, but really I just didn't know how to do it. So YouTube was my best friend. But they learned, and they did great. And so after about a couple of weeks of them figuring out that I'm really going to have to do this, Miss Scott's not going to tell me what to do, they would just dive in. They would come in during their recess time when they went outside, 10 athletic boys coming in during their recess time to work on these problems and try to solve them and fix them. And then their teachers said that they had a greater perseverance in the classroom. Obviously, they were higher achievers, but whenever they would hit a wall, they throw up their hands, or they get mad or frustrated, and they saw a lot less of that. So those boys moved on to 7th grade. And so at Pikeville Independent, we're K-6 and then 7 through 12. So in my 4th, 5th, and 6th, I do pullouts. And then once they get to the 7-12 part, they have to choose me as an elective. If they want to continue in extra gifted services. So, of course, those boys want gym time. And in 7th grade, we have 2 math classes, so they really don't have much of an option as far as electives go. But they've come to me, and they really want to continue this robotics. And then, of course, there's the other kids who didn't get to be pulled out that are super interested in this. And so I thought, what can I do? Well, when this grant opportunity came around, I decided to purchase some more EV3 robots from Lego Education, and we're going to have a robotics club. And so this is going to open it up to all students who are interested, 7 through 12, and it's going to be before school. So after school is super busy. I'm a coach too, and a lot of the kids have tons of things to do, whether it be sports or clubs, or they just have to go home or whatever it is. So we're going to go before school. A lot of our students get there early, and we're going to take about 40 minutes before school once, twice a week. Depending on the interest, we may have multiple days and sessions. And Lego actually has lesson plans already designed for you. So if you like to have something to kind of get you going, get started off the ground, they have fantastic lessons that align to all kinds of different grades, all kinds of different content. But what we're going to do is we're going to base it off of car technology. So they have a whole sequence that's going to show them how that all of this driverless cars work. And they're going to get to build their robots and have them do all the cool things that the cars are doing. So it's real world, it's authentic. They're learning about the programming too. So I think it'll be a really great hit. I know they're super excited to get started. We just got them in. and I've had to take a little leave, but as soon as I get back, we're going to get started. But a couple of the lessons, just as an FYI, will be they're going to learn about autonomous parking. So they're going to design their robot to parallel park, just like the cars now parallel park themselves. They're going to the lane detection, like when it shifts out of the lane, they're going to learn about that by the line detection. So they're going to be able to keep their robot in between the lanes. Automatic headlights, object detection. They're going to actually do the whole driverless car to where it can make its way through the streets. And then how to safely cross an intersection. So they'll have to program it to detect the light changes and that sort of thing. And then they have tons of others. They have a lot of science. If you're a science teacher, there's a lot of lessons that go with this. Gravity, they have acceleration. There was earthquake simulations. There's a lot of great things with Lego. So if you're interested in robotics, I definitely recommend looking up Lego Education.